What is good, YouTube? I just wanted to do this video kind of real quick. I saw basically some Instagram posts from ZayaX as well as Suicidal, I believe, about the Kamikaze release, talking about how this isn't the sneaker world that they remember. And I had the same issues with the Kamikaze release. Like, I love the shoe. It's actually only the third shoe this year that I've wanted and that I've attempted to get, and I failed, clearly. But that was a really nice looking shoe. Am I heartbroken that I didn't get it? Not really, but would I have liked to add it to the collection? Yeah, because it has a lot of details, a lot of features that I really like in shoes. But since they were kind of touching on how the sneaker world used to be, I figured I'd tell my story of how I remember it. And I know this has kind of been touched on here and there by a few different people at different points, including myself. But I figure I'll just kind of go through when I first remember getting into sneakers, as well as what it was like back in the day. And it's crazy that I'm dating myself like this, because I turned 26 in a week, and I feel like I'm still in high school, basically. It's weird to think that I'm 26 at this point. But basically, I see kind of four groups as far as sneakerheads go. It's basically like the 30 and older, which is a lot of the OG people on YouTube. Then there's kind of the 25 to 29 age group, which I think is kind of like me, Yoanti, Nightwing, a couple of guys like that. And then kind of the 21 to 24, or I'd even say like 18 to 24, which is kind of like T. Blake, Philly's Got Soul, all those guys. And then there's kind of like the high school age kids and younger. And basically, and I'd say people probably 23, 24 and younger don't even really remember like how good the sneaker world used to be, because basically when I was, and I've been into sneakers my whole life. A lot of people on YouTube and whatnot have kind of gotten into it later on in their lives, but I was collecting shoes when I was in third, fourth grade, which is hard to believe. But I was always so into basketball that I would buy basketball shoes that I would also wear as my to-school shoes. And I remember when I was probably in 5th or 6th grade was when I bought my first pair of Jordans with my own money. And it was the first Team Jordan. I can't even remember what it was. And around the same time, my dad got me the Jumpman Pros. Nightwing touched on the Jumpman Quick in one of his recent videos. I had those. And I bought basically every numbered Jordan from 11 to 16. And I bought multiple Iversons as well. And it's hard to believe, looking back on it, that I owned as many shoes as I did when I was a kid. But it was basically because I feel like I wore my shoes heavily. So every 4 to 5 months, I would need a new pair, because I was wearing my shoes to school, to play basketball, to hang out with my friends, everything. I was wearing the same pair of shoes. And I always wanted to have something basketball related. But I remember with that first pair of Team Jordans, I basically knew about the shoe, saw it in the mall, and I started saving my money. And I was able to save my money for 3 or 4 months, go back into the store. They still had the shoe. They had it in my size. I was able to buy it. And that's just kind of how it was back then. Shoes would hang around the stores for half a year or a whole year. Like, they wouldn't sell out within hours like they do now. But with the Jordan 11s, I got those probably within a month after they released. The Jordan 16s I got a month or two after they released. And one of the things Nightwing kind of touched on in the last Yoanti chat was our thing for guys my age was when we were in high school, the Eastbay magazine would come out, and it would have all the different Jordans, all the different sports jerseys, for example, everything you could imagine. And you would flip through and circle what you wanted, and when you had enough money, you could call them up and order them. There was no hassle, no worry of anything selling out. Um, I got the limited when they came out. The Reebok Questions, the first time they retroed, they had like a little limited edition tag. They numbered them out of a couple thousand, and they had like a little. The hang tag was like a metal hang tag that came with the shoe, and I got those on Eastbay probably 2 or 3 weeks after they released, and now they did sell out in a few hours, and they were probably less limited than they were back then. Um, I'll say that probably there were some shoes that did get a lot of craziness to them. Like the first time that the Cool Grays came out, I know that there was a little bit of pandemonium about those, and the Jordan 23s, that there were only 23 pairs in 23 cities. There was some pandemonium about that, but it really wasn't until the Concords that every release started getting like it is now. But I kind of wanted to give you a quick little look into what it used to be like back in the day, which it's weird saying back in the day considering I was in high school 10 years ago, but it seems like a year or two ago. But it definitely was a much different time. It was definitely all more about what you liked, what looked cool, and I think I was watching the group chat with J Star and Smartest Shy, and I can't think of the third guy's name, but they were talking on the fact that there were kids talking about how the Fire Reds were still in stores, and that almost took away from kids wanting to buy them because they weren't as limited or as hyped as they thought they were. Which, it's like, I think that that's a good first step for the sneaker community, but as Suicidal and I believe that's his name, and Zaya X pointed out, with the Kamikaze release, it doesn't look like things are changing anytime soon. So you just can't get so invested into these things. But hopefully someday it will return to that point, and I could get a shoe like that, no hassle. But until then, I figure I'd give you a quick glimpse into what it used to be like. As always, guys, take it easy. Peace.